And listening to another Scoutcast on www.fantasyfootballscout.co.uk. My name is Mark.
My name is Granville.
And my name is Jonty.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
Yeah, good.
Fine,
yeah.
Thank you.
Few technical problems tonight. A bit of a late start. This is the third take on the Scoutcast. Sorry about that, but we're here eventually. Better late than never. Another episode with Granville, Jonty, and myself. Plenty to go through, as my caption for those viewing will reveal. I've risen like a phoenix. I'm now currently cream of the crop amongst the three of us, but it's the best of a very bad bunch. We'll talk about our game weeks. It was pretty close overall in game week 14. And of course, we'll look ahead to game week 15, but we've got lots to talk about as well. We're talking about Sanchez, his injury, the Arsenal injury list piles up. We're going to talk about Hazard. Is he back on the radar? Surely not. Jonty's going to make a case, though, I think, because he's going to roll out his assist imminent table. No doubt he's got his goals imminent table as well. We haven't got much to tease Granville about. He had a fairly average game week, but I'm beating him now, as predicted last week. We've got more rough for the smooth, lots more questions as well. We're bringing back Fancy Island Risks, I believe, Jonty, as well, and the clean sheets. Is that right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, as requested. Don't know whether it will be permanent, but yeah, okay. For this week, definitely.
Yeah. Well, they asked. That's what they asked for it. That's their fault if they moan again. Okay, let's get started then. The game week in question was game week 14. Jonty, you came out on top, 73 points.
Yeah, well, I did take a hit, to be fair. But yeah, it was a great couple of hits. It set me up. I got Özil and Josh King in for Payet. Finally got rid of him. And Mata finally got rid of him. So I got rid of two players I didn't want. One very injured, one poor form, two players good form, and I've gone back to my fifth midfielder strategy, so that's really good. And as a bonus, some others like Moreno, Lukaku, Vardy, some of the others, and of course Kevin De Bruyne, who we will come to in the rough with the smooth.
I'm sure, yeah,
did me well. So yeah, a very good week. A couple of quite nice weeks for me. Hits to sort out my team. I feel in quite a good place now, and quite happy about things.
We're still 10 points behind me, so I pulled away a little bit, but more importantly, I pulled away from Granville. I was 6 points behind, now 3 points ahead. Granville, what was it? 65 points, pretty miserable.
You were 3 points. You were 3 points behind,
okay.
And now you're 6 points ahead. I don't want to be pedantic, but so you take
why not?
A little lead on me. A little lead on me. I didn't predict it. I thought I had a better team than you this week. Anyway, my problem this week was good old Aguero, because I scored okay thanks to Kevin De Bruyne and Vardy and Moreno. Yeah. But Aguero was the transfer that I planned on making for the last couple of weeks. I avoided Kane. I avoided Lukaku. I knew what I wanted to do. And what happened? He gets injured and doesn't play the. Well, he doesn't. He didn't even play. Did he play 60 minutes? Yeah, he did. 2 points, captained him. Yeah, a bit of a disaster.
So yeah. I mean, you're not worried about it. The injury looks okay. I don't think that's a concern. I mean, you put the armband straight away on
I told you I would do. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think actually it might be a bit of a blessing in disguise because people aren't going to be fussed about getting him this week. So I retain a big differential. I'm sure he is going to play this weekend, but it's not someone you're going to transfer in right now, especially with people having to take hits to get him. So I'm just waiting for that big score, captain in, and then make a bit of ground.
Yeah, but the question is, how long have you got to wait?
That's the theory.
Yeah. I know, and it all sounds very convincing. And home to Southampton, I'm not that worried. I think Southampton are going to put up some opposition, so I don't think it's going to come there. I mean, we're all going to, you're going to be.
Hang on, what are you talking about?
Aguero's big haul.
City just played. Have we gone back a week? City just played Southampton. Is that what you said?
Sorry, I can't hear you there, Granville. I've lost you completely.
Right, okay, conveniently. City just played Southampton.
Oh, sorry, am I completely mistaken? Okay, yeah, sorry about that.
He won 3-1, but nice try.
No, okay, well, City are at Stoke. Sorry, I'm mistaken. So City are at Stoke. They're up against a decent defence. I don't think City are going to go crazy, and Aguero's going to go crazy at Patania, is he?
Yeah.
So are you going to stick the armband on him again? I mean, is it going to be every week?
I'll do it every week until I've got him and he gets his big haul, and then it's all over because once he gets a big haul, everyone's going to get him. So I've got to make hay while the sun shines, or just try. I'm not in a desperate position or anything like that. I mean, you're 6 points ahead of me. Granted, you've caught up 60 points, but hey, that's right. I had three bad weeks. This was a revival for me. I mean, 60 points. I've got 40-point weeks for the last 4 weeks, 3 really dreadful weeks, and so I have turned it around now to start making ground on you.
Right, you got rid of Marshall, so at last we can stop teasing you about that, can't we? So Tony's gone. Does that feel better now? You're not going to be disappointed by United anymore, are you? Only the fact that you support them.
Yeah, well, let's not go there at the minute.
I mean, Johnson's got rid of Mata, you got rid of Martial.
I mean, let's talk about your game because you captained Sanchez. Do you think that was a wise thing to do? I was surprised actually when I saw it, but I thought, well, man, he's having a little bit of a gamble. He knows the game's on the Sunday. It's one of those things that you think, I can save my captain to the last day. But he wasn't in great nick, really, was he? And he pulled his hamstring. He's going to be out for reportedly a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks. We're all going to have to swap him out, aren't we?
That's the talk, right? But first of all, I went for Sanchez. Admit it, John T and yourself were a bit worried, weren't you? Going into Sunday, you must have looked at it and thought, "Oh dear, I don't fancy this."
It's for me particularly because I had Captain Aguero and he failed. Yeah. So it's it's always a bit of a worry. But I didn't actually fancy Kane, to be honest with you, because I knew Chelsea keep it tight because that's what they've been doing the last couple of weeks. Yeah. But yeah, Sanchez, he's a bit of a live wire, isn't he? You never know. But he's in the red zone and he's picked up that hamstring injury. Yeah, unfortunate for you, captaining him. But there you go. He's still 4 points.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like John, you went for Lukaku. Were you happy with the goal? I guess you were in the recent.
I was, but I mean, I was. For me, it was always between. I knew I was going to get Özil in. I was quite happy to double up with Özil and Sanchez. So I've actually got. I mean, it's great having Özil in now because he's the key player that so many people who trying to get rid of Sanchez want to get in. He got that goal. To be honest, I didn't get him for goals. I got him for loads of assists. And for me, the captaincy last week was between Özil and Lukaku all week. Yeah. I was saying one of those two. It's going to be one of those two. Because I was looking at who's going to get a drubbing, and I wanted, and it looked to me. I thought Bournemouth or Norwich would get a drubbing because they're against 2 attacking sides and they've got 2 poor defences. As it was Everton who were doing the drubbing, and then Bournemouth having a bit of a drub back at Everton. But for me, it was Özil. I never thought of Sanchez because he was going into that nursing a slight injury. Yeah. And as soon as I hear the words slight injury, knocks and niggles, I just think not the captaincy. Anything else?
Man. I was reading on the boards on Saturday morning about I think it was one of the posts, I can't think of who it was, said when I hear of a hamstring, it could go any moment. So he could go 5 minutes and it could go twang. And I did think about it. He's got a point, but then. I just think Sanchez is a different beast. I backed him to just get through it and play the 90 minutes and hopefully get a goal for me. It was a gamble, I admit it. And I thought when he got the assist, I thought, hello, he's gonna get a goal to go with this in the second half. Particularly when Norwich equalised, I thought, yeah, Arsenal will rally and I'll get something out of this. But then, yeah, it just twanged, didn't it? And it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all. I mean, he's trying to pass it off as just a kick, but it wasn't. You could see when he went into the 50-50, it went just before.
Oh, he's holding it. He's holding his hamstring. There's something wrong with him. He's not going to play. He's not going to play for a couple of weeks. I'm sure of that.
Face has had a look at it, hasn't it, John T?
Can I just finish actually because you captain Sanchez, but Arsenal are almost down to bare bones now. I mean, they've got so many injuries. It happens every season. Every season they get to this stage where they have loads of injuries. They always have a bad November for some reason. And it's no different this time around. I mean, what do we think about Arsenal going forward now?
Well, that's one of the questions that we'll come to later on, Granville. I think one of the community members have brought that up when we talk about Sanchez. I just want to talk about what Facer's prognosis is. He said 4 to 6 weeks, isn't he? But the press are saying 3 weeks. But that's obviously the community are raising that and their questions in what we do with Sanchez. We'll get onto that in a bit. I guess we should look at Rougher the Smooth though first, John T, and just look at some of the community game weeks before we get onto those questions.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I'm going to go with the Roughs first because they're all on the same theme. People were ditching De Bruyne and they were getting in Aguero, so it was like a double whammy. I mean, Granville got half the pain there. But some of these other people. So let's just go. I mean, a quick list. Let's just run through this lot here. Ragonian sold De Bruyne, Mane, and Igalo. Imagine that, selling all that lot, and then brought in.
That's just with How do you do that?
Brought in and as part of the people he brought in, he had Stanislas. He benched, and then
that is just amazing, isn't it?
That's a
cracker. To have that vision, but to bench him, it's just the pain of that.
Next up, Sparta Boy. This is on a wild card. He wildcarded out Balassi, Vardy, and De Bruyne for Aguero, Sanchez, and Hutton, who scored an own goal.
See, this is a problem with Aguero. It's going to require a hit or two hits to get him, and that's the only reason why I'm saying that I'm sitting pretty. In that, if people do want to get him, if he at some point he does have a big score, then they're going to have to spend points to get him. So in the same way that you're sitting on Ozil, sitting pretty, like that. I feel that at some point Aguero is going to do that. So that's kind of what you do. Spending a wild card to get Aguero in, and then having not play a full game is pretty harsh.
It's too early to do that, I'd have thought. I mean, that's the panic that Aguero can cause, though, because he is so explosive. That's the point.
Well, think about he's got that 5 goals against Newcastle. You missed that one. I mean, you saw it with Dusra when he sold him in his wild card. He got his 5 goals. Then he gets him back immediately. Then he gets injured for playing for Argentina. It's just you just don't know what to do. You don't know whether you're coming or going with him sometimes. But you can't afford to miss out.
More KDB stories, Jonty?
Yeah, just round these 3 up. Lahi, Andy85, Curse of the Scoutcast. He was only on a couple of weeks ago. And Jossie, all of them took varying degrees of hits to get loads of players out, including De Bruyne and including Kolarov, to get in Aguero. I mean, they've got some other people in, but it was all about Aguero. They're obsessed with Aguero. Yeah. But his glass heel on his glass shoe on his glass legs couldn't last the night.
It's pretty unfortunate because I thought about using KDB to fund Aguero, using his value, downgrading him, and then finding money for Aguero. But unfortunately, it did cross my mind though, because I was thinking about doing that a hit, and it probably would have been KDB now.
No, it made perfect sense. If you're going to get Aguero in, you need further City cover. They had quite tough fixtures, so perhaps doubling up on them wasn't required. So I can absolutely see it. I would have done the same had I been really lured into the Aguero thing. Luckily, I went for Kane a couple of weeks ago, and I'm sitting on that for now. But KDB, I mean, the irony of it, just punished people with his biggest haul of the season. It's just, it's just the way it works, and it's a cool thing.
Andy85 has just been on YouTube on the chat there to say to justify that he also wanted to get Pella out, who Pella obviously didn't play. But I was going to say it could be a triple hit for him this coming game week because he's playing Villa, and Pella's had a lovely nice rest. And sure he was a bit out of form, but Villa is so poor that this could come back to haunt him. Anyway, do you want to hear some smooths? Do you want to hear
go on then.
Some good management. So Kaiser Soze and Daniel both brought in Moreno and Özil, just like that. There we go. Vatroslav captained Balassi. Now that's
I think. See, that's good. I mean, Moreno and Özil, they're quite highly owned, but captaining Balassi. The next one's interesting, actually. Pinkfish bringing in Funes Mori.
Nice.
Yeah.
But the Balassi one is just, I mean, because we've been alternating with Cabaye and Balassi. It's the whole kind of Palace midfield conundrum, flirting with Zaha now and again. Balassi now back as the choice.
But the problem with someone like Balassi, I mean, especially captaining him, is that he's only actually got scores in is it like 3 game weeks out of 14? Yeah,
he's so inconsistent.
So you can't really. It's a bit like Barkley. I know Barkley's actually done all right the last couple of weeks, but I think it's the same with him. You can't know exactly when he's gonna turn it on, but when he does, he's really explosive.
Yeah, man. This is it. On Saturday morning, I was on the Premier League Live console, and we get lots of questions. And one of the guys on there asked me who should I bench, and he had Balassi as one of his 5 midfielders. And he had Özil, KDB, Mahrez. I can't remember the other one. Basically, there was no option there to bench other than Balassi. I thought, well, he's at home to Newcastle, but he's so inconsistent, he could easily get 2 points. So what did I do? My advice was, bench Balassi.
See, what was the other?
I felt awful.
What was the other choice? We should sack you off actually. In that case, no. What were the other choices?
Well, he basically had the classic midfield. Well, I think he had De Bruyne, Ozil, Mahrez. I think was it Barkley? It might have been.
See,
Barkley.
I would have benched if he's got Vardy on the bench, Mahrez, to be honest with you, or Vardy.
Yeah,
probably Mahrez. But I mean, against United, best defence in the league. I don't think it was that difficult choice, and actually he didn't do anything either, so it would have been the right choice.
Yeah, I know. In hindsight,
I'm not just saying it in hindsight.
But Balassi, Mahrez has only blanked him 4 game weeks out of 14, whereas Balassi it's 11. So I mean, but Newcastle at home, if you're not going to play Balassi in any game, I suppose it's that one. It's very difficult. I get 5 minutes to think about those things before I have to answer.
I know. It must be awful.
I did feel bad about it. I didn't go on and apologise. It wasn't as bad as saying don't triple captain Aguero in game week 8, which is also what I did. But yeah, let's not highlight my errors anymore. Jonty, I think we've got questions from the community, and I guess it's all going to be surrounding Sanchez and KDB and fifth midfielders, isn't it?
It is indeed. So yeah, everyone's realising that Sanchez is definitely going to be out for 2 or 3, could be 4 to 6. So yeah, who are we going to get in? So a couple of questions on Hazard. So let's have a look at Hazard. I haven't heard about him for a while. So Super Zlatan asks, is Hazard worth considering? Cav QC asks, is Hazard a genuine option or just a desperation move?
Mark would be able to answer that because he did that move a few weeks ago.
I've got a few stats on here, but I don't know if either of you wanted to chip in first. Any particular views about that?
Well, Granville, you turned your nose up at Hazard, didn't you, earlier today? You're very anti him. Before we roll out the stats, let's hear Granville's case for against.
Well, the first thing, he's now playing as a striker, isn't he? Did he not play up as out of position? Yeah. Right. I don't like that. I mean, it sounds a lot better than it is.
It's not like that, says Granville.
No, it's the same with Wildcard as well when he's played up front. Although he's actually proved himself there. But Hazard, I don't know. He's just so out of form. He scored 1 goal all season. I think it's price. I do think it'd be crazy to get him right at this minute. I'm sure he's a confidence player, and Chelsea keeping it really tight. I just don't know where it's coming from, to be honest with you. I think there's a lot better options. It's a punt, but not kind of like an Aguero punt. It's a serious punt that you're just hoping that he turns it around and that you got him.
John T, are you gonna start the case more? I'm going to sit in the middle. So what have you got?
Let's go.
Prove me wrong.
Okay, well it's room to be optimistic. So I'm not saying that Hazard's going to unleash a flurry of goals next week, but there is room to be optimistic. So the assist imminent table, this is quite key because 2 weeks ago Eriksen was on there, off he went, lots of assists. Last week De Bruyne was on there, off he went, lots of assists. Who's he been replaced with? Hazard. So Hazard's there, 10 chances created, no assists. So he's starting to show the promise there. There's a few other interesting things. He did play up front. That didn't actually work out. So Granville was right to question that. He's not a striker. I had a look at the penalty area touches. He's been averaging 4.4 over the season.
Beat me to it, John.
And he got just 3 against Spurs. But the key match is game week 12, where he played Stoke. So he was kind of more in his kind of familiar position there, kind of attacking midfield, kind of coming in from wide, coming in from the middle. And that was really good, actually. He had 7 penalty area touches that game, and that was a good indicator that game. So but the trouble is he's not a goal scorer. You see, he can score goals, but 1 shot in target over the last 4 game weeks is poor. But where your bread and butter for Hazard is he's got penalties. He's got penalties for a supposed top side, recovering form. Chelsea are getting better. They've had 53 goal attempts in the last 4. Now that's mid-table if you're looking at goal attempts. Yeah. Now, if you remember, a few weeks back, we were looking at Chelsea. We were laughing at them openly. They were right down the bottom. It was like they were completely flat bottom.
They were down there with that United side.
Yeah, them and United were atrocious. There's other reasons to be cheerful about Hazard this week as well. This is from Doozra, who's another like me. Has an obsession with stats tables, and the team that's conceded the most big chances over the last 6 matches is Bournemouth, who play Chelsea next. So there we go.
I mean, Chelsea's fixtures, 3 of the next 4 at home. So they've got Bournemouth, Sunderland and Watford at home. Now, you've got to think that, they've got a chance there. The trouble is, I think the problem is Costa's a major problem. We saw it on Saturday. Things aren't right there. Mourinho's fallen out of him now, it seems. I mean, he's taken it in terms of all his players. Things aren't right in the Chelsea camp. Hazard, he hasn't been posing the threat. Overall this season, his penalty touches are down to 4.5 compared to 7.3 last season, right? So he's generally not getting in the area as much. Now, I looked at the stats when he played the false 9 on Saturday, and the problem there is his goal threat didn't go up at all, really, considerably. It's slightly more shots on goal, but his creativity was down, so he was less of a factor outside the box and creating opportunities for others. And that, the assist table shows that he maybe is due an assist, but if he's playing false 9, the evidence from Sunday's matches, he's going to be less involved, he'll get less of the ball, and he'll create less. So there's a problem with him.
Is he still on penalties?
Yeah, I believe so.
I mean, where's the evidence for it? I mean, the thing is, he's a #1 penalty taker, but he's missed a couple this season.
Yeah.
I'm sure they've got other players in the side who are capable of taking penalties. Mourinho's obviously had a few problems with Hazard as well this season. I wouldn't be so sure.
No, and also Costa. They're trying to buy Costa a goal, aren't they? So if he plays against Bournemouth, you kind of think.
I think he will play against Bournemouth. Is Remy injured?
He's injured, but said to be coming back at the weekend. So's Falcao as well. So I don't know whether they're factors, but I can't see. I think Costa will play, and the publicity will be on him. Hazard probably will be back on the wing, and Chelsea will probably score 1 or 2 against Bournemouth. But I don't know. You're looking at him, aren't you, Jonty? Hazard?
I am. I do agree with Granville, though. He is a punt. Out of the Sanchez replacements I'm looking at, he's bottom of that list at the moment, and it's because of the price. It doesn't give me much flexibility, and other players that we will come to, because other people are asking about other midfielders, are certainly putting forward a better case for scoring goals, getting assists, and therefore getting bonus points.
Even at Chelsea, there's Willian, who's done remarkably well this season. Takes free kicks. He just seems to be Chelsea's best player this season.
And 6 goals and direct free kicks this season, I think.
He could be an option. Yeah. He could be an option.
Yeah,
he could be an alternative. I can't really think of any other alternatives, but he'd certainly be one as a cheap sort of a 4th midfielder.
Well, here's a name that you know coming up in the next question, Granville. Coutinho versus Barkley. You know Coutinho, don't you? Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You know what? I'm thinking long and hard about Sanchez to Coutinho.
Yeah, getting him back. A few others aren't they, Jonty?
Yeah. Internal error and doodle asked Barkley or Coutinho. Arbination, Coutinho or Firmino. And then Rupert asked about doubling up on Delafay and Barkley. So that's something that perhaps Granville would consider. I'll say first, out of all of that bunch, obviously Barkley's got the immediate form, but I think Coutinho, if fit, is the one, because I think he's got the goals and assists, and therefore he's going to get the most points. He's created 8 chances. He's doing pretty well. Lots of shots on target, and shots in the box as well. This is something he didn't do last season. He was scoring from like miles out. They were rubbish. Yeah. Firmino is another very interesting one there. I think he could be one to get. And the key for me is that they face Newcastle next, and Newcastle are so bad. So abysmal. I was watching Match of the Day on there, and I could feel Alan Shearer's pain as he was watching them, and just it was describing how poor it was non-existent. They are absolutely ripe for the taking. Liverpool will score plenty of goals against them. So that's my take on it. So
you're looking at, you think Coutinho over Barkley? Yeah, I mean, I looked at some stats. I've just looked at the last 4 matches, and Barkley. He's seeing a lot more of the ball for Everton than Coutinho is for Liverpool, but it comes down to the goal involvement. Last 4 matches, 62% for Coutinho, and I think the difference is Coutinho is getting into the area more, 3.5 touches in the box over the last 4 matches compared to Barkley's 1.2. Barkley's almost what Coutinho used to be. His threat mainly comes from range, although he's had a couple of
the goals have all been in the box.
Yeah, I know he has been getting in the box, but it's been breaking for him. But I just think that Coutinho is the role he's playing under Klopp looks to be very different to the one before Klopp arrived. I think he's he's just given. I don't know what it is. He's given license to get in areas to hurt teams more. Just under Klopp's system, and I think he just about edges it. Obviously, Barkley's got the advantage on price. He's got the advantage in that he is fully fit, and Coutinho may come back from injury in the Capital One Cup tomorrow on Wednesday. I mean, this goes out on Thursday, so we'd have known by now. But I'm with Jonty. I think Coutinho's just got the edge. But I guess Granville, you're worried about getting him back in, having got rid of him once.
Well, no, not so much. I think the problem with getting Barkley in for everyone probably is you already have an Everton attacker.
Yeah.
Most people have Lukaku. Some people have De La Feu, like myself. Do you really want to double up? Not too sure with that team. Maybe they are in good form, but I think considering Liverpool have the better fixtures, I think, to come, and they're looking good. They just have a prime fixture, and you can't ignore that really. Who are they playing?
Newcastle away.
Newcastle.
Now, yeah, I've got some.
It's just, I mean, I can't imagine they're not going to score. Although they do let you down now and again, and in fact, they struggled against a poor Swansea side at the weekend.
I was looking into Newcastle actually. I was going to talk about this when we get to fancy on this, but I just had a quick shifty at their home record because they've conceded 69 shots in the box, Newcastle, more than any other team at home in the league. And I was looking at where these chances are coming from, and it seems to be overall this season, home and away, there's no obvious area of weakness. But at home, they've conceded more chances on the left flank than anybody else. So it's their right back Janmaat, who, when they're at home, I think gets forward a lot.
Yeah.
So I was looking like who's going to play on the Liverpool right up against Janmaat. It could be Lallana or it could be Coutinho. It depends what Klopp does. But I think it's going to be a difficult area for them. So Liverpool's left, Moreno and Coutinho maybe up against Janmaat could be crucial. So it is set up for Coutinho, I think, based on the data. And if he's fit, if he proves his fitness in the Capital One Cup, I think, I'm a bit worried that Jonty's going to get him in now after hearing what you said tonight. I'm not worried about you, Granville. I don't think you're swallowing your pride.
It'd just be so annoying. I mean, it's annoying enough missing out on 4 goals. Sold him 3 weeks ago, missing out on 4 goals. But then for him, one of you two to get him this week and then he continues to score and I haven't got him. Oh, that would just kill me.
Yeah, I'll claim him as my player as well. I always
I knew all along that he was going to.
Yeah, he's my player. Yeah.
It's like playing a draft game. Only one of us can have him. Who's going to get in there first?
I mean, come on, you were criticising me for owning him a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
You really were. I go, well, he got a couple of assists in that first game ago. I know he's had a few blanks, but then I think you even you played mind games with me and you convinced me to get rid of him. For KDB, who I know he scored well last week, but that was disastrous, such a disastrous transfer.
Well, to be honest, that's not the case because I really didn't see his points coming.
I know. Neither did I.
Claim the credit.
Neither did I, to be honest with you. I mean, to get 2 goals in the game after you sell him is pretty unlucky. But he does look good, and give me some credit for recognising that in the first place, even though I didn't get the points.
Fair enough. I'll give you some credit. I'll give you some credit for this guy as well. De La Feu, he looked good tonight, didn't he, against Bowie? He got the goal, got the assist for Lukaku's goal. It was 2-0 when we came on air. De La Feu are part in both the goals. You've got him, Granville. You've got him.
I'm not really getting. But I am. But he hasn't really delivered in terms of points. He got an assist this week. He got an assist last week, but he wasn't awarded the points. And I think he's central to quite a lot of what Everton are doing at the minute. They're really open up, and he's supplying Lukaku. I think you should definitely look at him. I think if you want a cheap midfielder who's going to be right in the centre of things, he's a really good player.
Jonty, is he on your list as well?
No, well, Barkley is also on my list. Getting Barkley in though is quite tactical, really. I mentioned a week or two ago, everyone in my mini league, I obviously missed the memo where every single one of them got Barkley in just as he scores a mountain of points. So it would be a tactical way of kind of latching onto their good player and hopefully beating them with my other ones. But I do like Coutinho. I was looking at fixtures as well. I mean, I've got Lukaku, so I feel I'm kind of tapped into Everton's good run. Yeah. But Liverpool, Newcastle next, then West Brom at home, then Watford away, then Leicester at home, then Sunderland, then West Ham. I mean, just right up to game week 20 we're talking here. So Coutinho, if his lovely precious hamstrings and can survive, he looks a great bet for weeks to come, because I think getting a Liverpool attacker is quite key. And obviously, I don't think we can really trust the fitness of Sturridge or Benteke. And also, he might go. Klopp obviously away when he was against City. He went Firmino and Coutinho. This was what he went for. So that was Benteke on the bench there. So I just think Coutinho looks, if he's fit this week, he just looks the best bet for me.
I've got to say though, I mean, as much as I love Liverpool, they've really let me down. I mean, like every single season I get a player of theirs, and I had obviously Suarez, but everyone had Suarez. But I didn't get Sturridge when he was when you, Jonty, were doubling up with Suarez and he was scoring. I didn't have him all that time. I remember there's a situation this year with.
Hold on a minute, Jonty, you doubled up on Suarez. Why have you ever mentioned that?
Did you know? I did.
It's going to be on his great
ScoutCast bingo, that is.
I remember having there was a Benayoun one a few years ago. Gerrard let me down loads of times. I don't know. The Skirtle last season was awful. I remember getting him, and it went 3 weeks, and he scored 1 point over 3 weeks, and one of those was a sending off. And I got him in a double game week. Do you remember that double game week last year when Arsenal also had a double game weekend? It was a really, really bad one. We'd all gone heavy on Liverpool and Arsenal.
Yeah, and they got the
one of my players was Skirtle, and he was a really bad call. But,
you mentioned Moreno last week, saying, when's he going to get his points? He's come in now. He's going to do all that for us, I'm telling you. We're going to get onto defenders in a question later on. Jonty, next one then. Is there more midfielder questions?
Yeah, David Silva. Let's be seeing him. Now, he's another I'm looking at. But the thing about getting, for people like me who've got De Bruyne and don't have Aguero, if you get Silva and De Bruyne, is pretty much saying I'm never going to get Aguero, and I don't want to rule myself out of Aguero. He's not a player you ever want to rule out. So David Seaman here asks, will Silva make a big impact in December? I've just did a quick look at the last 6 matches, so this kind of counts out those that have been injured. So over the last 6 matches they played, he's one of the best. So you've got Özil and Payet in a world of their own in terms of chances created. And then you've got this second tier of great players: Eriksen, De Bruyne, Silva. You mentioned Willian as well with his amazing free kicks. And then you've got Chadley as well. So he's currently injured. So he's one to look out for when he gets better. But so Silva's up there when he's fit, when he's playing and he's fit. He's creating a lot of chances. He's taking a lot of crosses, a lot of corners, lots of shots on target, shots in the box. He's got the work. So I personally, I think he's a great option.
You'd love a bit of Silva, don't you? So what do we think, Granville? What do you think? Silva, is he going to detract from KDB? Is that going to be the obvious, outcome of that?
I think they'll complement each other. Actually, I think it's good having Aguero when Silva and KDB in the side. They're going to create loads of chances. The bad thing about it is I have to sort of semi-support City when they're playing, which is it's a bit difficult. It's a bit difficult, especially
what fancy football does to you.
Especially with United not really having any fancy assets up front. They've got Smalling, but at the minute, they've just been really awful. So I'm going to have to sort of, bite my tongue, bite my lip, and just hope that City score a few goals and let in loads as well, especially with you having Kolarov. Yeah, Silva's a good player, obviously.
Yeah,
he's best midfielder in the league, the best attacking midfielder in the league for me.
Yeah, I'd go for that. I do think it is close. I got asked this on Saturday morning about KDB and Silva. I think KDB is the stronger. I just think that he's got the goal for it, and he's shown it so far this season. I've yet to see Silva really give me enough to think he's going to get 10 goals in a season. Well, I think KDB can, and he's on his way to doing that. I think assists, it could be very close. I like KDB's supply line. I think it looks really effective. I'm yet to see it with Silva over a prolonged period. So we're yet to see really what.
Are we discounting Sterling here? Because he looks like he's ever present. He's not quite keeping up. He scored 60 points. He isn't bad. And he's less. He's 9 million, 8.9 million. For a more of a budget. If you're looking to, especially if you want to get Aguero in as well, you need a budget. Then Sterling maybe over Silva.
I think it depends on what that number 10 role. Whether we're presuming that Silva's going to get it and De Bruyne and Sterling either side, but it might be interesting. It might be that that Pellegrini plays Sterling number 10. It's again, we're not clear on that. I think we've got to see what happens and give it a couple of weeks. I mean, Stoke away will be interesting, but that's probably not a typical City setup at the Britannia. I think that's going to be a tough game for them, and Pellegrini is going to set his team up with Stoke in mind to some extent. Well, I think we need a few home games until we know.
Yeah. And the thing is with Sterling, he always gets taken off. Pretty much always doesn't play the 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Which isn't going to help, especially City. They do score a lot of the goals the last few minutes.
And as Jonty was saying earlier, he loves Navas, doesn't he, Jonty?
Yeah. There's something about him. He just like we were just discussing earlier. He just loves a bloke running absolutely aimlessly and fast down the wing. But presumably, it is tactics to distract the opposition, and then suddenly it's like, whoa, hang on a minute, Aguero's just scored.
You'd have thought in an attacking team like that, and you're playing up front, that you'd have scored a goal this season, and he hasn't. It's a bit like Hazard actually, but no, Navas is just awful in front of.
Yeah, some of the chances he's missed, it'd been easier to score, wouldn't it? He has got this art of just fluffing it when he's in front of goal. He has no composure whatsoever. But you're right, Jonty. He runs around so much. He's got so much pace. He's a major distraction. I think he is there to just create space for others.
It's been
Pellegrini likes it.
Remember Darius Vassell? Just reminds me of him a bit. Just just really quick, but without much flair. But
the thing is, Darius Vassell.
The thing is, I know why Pellegrini likes him, because he does open up defences. I mean, he might not produce that many assists or goals, but he takes away players, and he's just got speed. He just has players backing off. So, I think he does have his uses. I just don't think there's a fancy asset. It's not really there.
Okay, next question. I think we're moving on to Arsenal, aren't we, Jonty?
Well, it is. I mean, this is the man we're talking about. Everyone wants to ditch Sanchez. So, but do we think Özil is actually a good bet? Kaiser Sosa asks, are there actually any other Arsenal options to consider? But Escucci asks, will the Sanchez injury actually affect Arsenal's returns and also Özil's returns?
I think so.
I mean, I'd put just in brackets, less attack equals less goals. Well, it's probably got a point. Yeah, I mean. Yeah, Granville, what do you think about that?
Saw it against Norwich. They were quite poor for most of that second half. They were poor. They probably should have done better when they were on top in the first half. They're all going to struggle. I mean, they're missing Coquelin, which is a big loss for them. And players, half fit, and they've got this Champions League game coming up. I don't think is vital to get Özil. I don't know. I mean, Sanchez to Özil. I mean, it's probably the most popular. It'll be probably the most popular move this week, especially with them playing Sunderland. But just not 100% convinced that Arsenal are the team to be getting on at the minute. I know.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is with Arsenal, it's 4 home fixtures in 6, isn't it? Right. So you've got to think that they're a good away side. They're probably the best away side in terms of getting goals, but. At the Emirates, I mean, sides will go down and shut them down. Sunderland will... Big Sam has already said, I'm bringing the bus. It's a bloody great bus, and I'm parking in front of my goal. He's more or less come out and said that.
What did he actually say?
Yeah, he said that he's basically set it up to go, we're going to defend away from home. We're going to try and stop opponents playing away from home. Last season, as you referred to earlier, game week 37, it was a double game week. We all backed Arsenal. Few people had PVA and Pantinimon knocking about. It turned out they got the points. They got a 0-0 draw. It was a game that Pantinimon made 8 saves but didn't get bonus points, if you remember. And Bellerin got the bonus, and it was all a bit, and that forced the FPL. Is
that when they had the whole keeper, Harper?
Yeah.
He was a top scorer, wasn't he?
That's right. It was that game week. Now Sunderland will turn up at the Emirates, I think, with confident mood. 3 clean sheets in a row, or 3 clean sheets under Big Sam. And Arsenal are going to be up against it, I think, without Sanchez. We're presuming Sanchez isn't going to play. Jonty, you've just got Özil in. Are you worried, or do you think they're going to find a way?
Not worried. No, because I got him in when he was just below 9 million. So what I've got is I've got Arsenal covered. I think he's going to be really nice and solid returns. It's going to be the odd assist, bit of bonus, like in a 0-0. He's the kind of player who's going to get you 3. He's going to get you. So he's going to get you 6 points. So yeah, it's not like captaincy material, and especially with Sunderland. Now, even with Sanchez, I would say Arsenal would struggle against Sunderland. We had an article up today. It was a review of November it's a regular article by Bowstring the Carp.
Yeah, excellent article.
It's an excellent article, and it's actually, when you see it in black and white, how strong defensively Sunderland have been over the last month. It's a bit of a wake-up call, and I was reading. I sent it to Tim, our sub-editor. We were discussing just, well, okay, hang on a minute, we've been missing a trick here. Van Arnholt, Van Tillerman, all getting all those points, all these clean sheets. He's bought his bus. Can you keep bringing that bus? And his bus is going to be massive against Arsenal.
And credit to Mark, actually, because he did mention it during the week. I don't know if you mentioned it on the podcast, but you were thinking about getting Kabul. Yeah,
I did. I mentioned it to you, didn't I, before on Friday afternoon? As you left, you went, "What's your transfer?" And I said, "I'm looking at Lovren, but maybe Kabul." And you did a grimace. But it would have come in, wouldn't it? But
it would have come in. I mean, the thing is, you had Richards, didn't you? I mean, that was a little bit jammy, but of course it was.
I persevered all this time. Anyway, enough of the game week stuff. But I tell you what, there's an article going up in Premier League about Pantilimon. I had a look at his stats.
Yeah.
There's only one match where he hasn't got a save point this season. So he's got save points in 13 or 14 games.
He did this last season, of course, because many of us had him. And, every single week he was getting save points. Yeah, I think it's a bit like Myhill gets quite a few as well, and Butland. But, Pantilimon, I think you're right, actually. I think Sunderland... he's gonna get save points against Arsenal, isn't he?
He's gonna get a few. I think. Other Arsenal players, Jonty. Here's a name for you. One from the past. Aaron Ramsey, surely.
Yeah, well, I think Cazorla might be injured as well, and obviously I think Arteta's injured, and obviously Coughlin's out as well. So that could be good news for Ramsey, because when he plays in that more defensive role, where Ramsey's kind of bread and butter for goals is just these runs through the middle. He's kind of less effective out wide. That could be good. For me, it's a wait and see. We don't know. I'm happy with Özil. I know he's going to get me steady returns.
It's the beginning of last season, Ramsey was a shoo-in for everybody. Like 9 million he started at, and everyone had to have him. And he started off and he was scoring goals.
And he's 8 million this year. I tell you what, though, Jonty, Chambers played central midfield for the under-21 today for Arsenal. So all the talk is he's getting him ready to play centre midfield in the pivot and play. But then again, Walcott's back, so Ramsey. Presumably we don't know. We have to wait and see. But I wouldn't presume that Ramsey's going to play in the.
No, because Chambers, with Flamini and we just play ahead of him. He'll probably play on the right side, no?
Yeah, he could do. And I've been looking at the data, and Ramsey this season, his penalty area touches 6.4 per match compared to 3.5 last year. He got 6 goals and 6 assists last year. So far this year, 1 goal, no assists. Pretty dreadful.
But that explains how he's used, though, isn't it? Because he's not about getting lots of penalty area touches. He's about these massive runs through the centre, and then just latching onto a through ball and banging it in.
His goal attempts are up 2.8 compared to 2.2. Goal attempts in the box 1.9 compared to 1.1. So
I think he's a good shout. I actually think he's a good shout. Honestly, I'm not just. I really think he is. I mean, I'm just looking at thinking about how they're going to set up. He's absolutely going to be key to that team going forward the next few weeks.
Yeah.
I don't think, because they haven't really got anyone. I mean, who else is going to be attacking the box? I mean,
I think he's going to play Walcott one side, Ramsey the other, Giroud in the middle, and then he'll have to play Chambers. I think if he's going to set up like that, unless Campbell's going to carry on getting a run. But
well, I think Campbell will start this week, but Walcott near?
Yeah, Walcott could be back for Sunderland. That's the talk. So
right, but he won't start, will he?
Well, this is it. Well, he can't take a risk with Walcott having, as he rushed Sanchez back. A lot of people saying he did. Well, we'll see. But he'll be hesitant.
And Oxlade-Chamberlain is a he's
the other factor. Again, though, I guess he saw some minutes at Norwich, so he's more likely to start, and Walcott will probably be on the bench. So we'll see. I mean, Ramsey is one to watch. We'll see what he does with him. If he's in the double pivot, maybe it's not so favourable. But he's just got this way of getting in the box late, and I don't know. We'll see. Next question. Is there any more midfield questions, John? Or are we moving on from that?
I mean, we can go back to it actually, because the kind of cheaper one. Now, I'll kind of bring one forward actually. It's a look at fifth midfielders. So this is something that I'm back to, the fifth midfield strategy. So Eden Hazardus, who's like me, a big fan of Josh King, He wonders if a viable rotation over Christmas is to go Igalo rather, from Watford and King from Bournemouth. He thinks Watford and Bournemouth have quite a good rotation. Candlewood wonders what's wrong with a benching headache. So he's wondering about these people getting these rubbish fifth midfielders like Westwood or whatever. What's wrong with having a really good strong 8?
Yeah, exactly.
But then AZ asks, have those with a strong front 8 got any hair left for the stress involved in that? So both of you, am I right in saying no? Granville, you've got a strong front 8, but Mark, you've got.
Well, no, I've got Ayoze, which he's always. I mean, he'd always be a bench on the bench, but when he scored that goal the other week, I decided to start playing him foolishly. But he's my 5th, 8th attacker.
Yeah, it's me you're referring to, John T, because I've got De Bruyne, Mahrez, Mane, Ayew, and I did have Sanchez. So I'll talk about my transfer at the end of the show. I've got the strong front 8, and I've got that problem every week, and I've got it this week as well. It's probably going to be a choice between Mane, Ayew, and Mahrez for the bench, and I'll probably get it wrong. I've got it wrong twice already this season, and it is tough. But I like what Candlewood is saying, because he's right. I mean, if Ayew scores and I don't play him, he could go up in price. I think he's on the verge of a price rise now. And also, this time of year, actually having a strong bench is actually a good idea. So,
and you can back you have to back yourself, don't you, to get the decision right.
Well,
rather just.
I would, but
I know it's so tough. I mean, I benched Ayew as well this season and missed out on his points. And I also benched Richards at the weekend, but instead of Ward. But it was probably the logical thing to do. But I think I'd still go for the 8 up front. It's only because I got Aguero that I need to keep a cheap attacker. So I'm just going to leave it as it is and just fiddle about elsewhere.
So, Jonty, when are you going to play Josh King then? And what do you think to this Igalo rotation? Because I'm looking at it and it does look really.
It does look. Personally, if I had Igalo, I wouldn't be benching him any week. So there's no rotation for me with Igalo.
You're right.
Because Watford are capable of nicking a goal in tough matches, and it'll probably be him. And in fact, it will be him. It'll be either him assisting it or getting it. The stats, his goal involvement stats are incredible.
Yeah, ridiculous.
I agree with getting a good fifth midfielder. I've never been one. I'm not keen on these. I'm going to get 2 points from them. I've tried it before, and I don't like it. I like to have. So I am. Yeah, I mean, I do get your Hoolahans, your Puncheons, and I do get those bench points. But I like to be able to spend as little as I can in doing that. And Bournemouth have been fantastic for these. So we've seen Josh King, he's got a goal and assist last 2 games. We've got Stanislas as well. He's only getting 2 goals there. You've got, I mean, a bit more expensive. You've got Richie as well, but personally I wouldn't. It's just a bit too much.
And Gosling's been knocking on the door, hasn't he?
And of course, and Dan Gosling as well. He's there. I mean, looking at looking at my goals imminent table. So here it comes.
I was thinking it's getting late. Where is it?
Here it is. I was going to roll it out for another one of our questions, but yeah, I mean, Gosling's there. He's there, top of that again. Josh King's there, so his goal is, So I am going to be benching Josh King against Chelsea. I feel Chelsea's defence is too strong, and there's quite a few weeks. But I'm very happy to have him on my bench, and I will need him over Christmas. There will be at least a week or 2. But that's my take on it. I like a good fifth midfielder, but make sure they're a good one that you can actually rely on, rather than like Darren Fletcher or something like that.
Can I throw in a question here, actually? Just we talk about Igalo, and he's done fantastically well this season. But the last 5 game weeks, Troy Dean has scored 4 times. 4 times in 5 games, I believe.
Yeah.
He's on penalties, and he's cheaper now.
The gap is quite big now. It's 5-1 to 5-8, isn't it? So
I think he's definitely an option. He's one that I'm looking at actually to swap Ayoze with, even this week, because Watford have got Sunderland and Norwich and Sunderland coming up next 2 games.
Yeah.
Everton. Who have they got? They've got
Norwich and Sunderland next
2. Yeah. So it's. Good fixtures, good immediate fixtures, and
4 in 6 at home. I mean, they've got Liverpool, Tottenham, and Man City at home over Christmas. Not easy games, and I don't know, but I think Deeney's a good move because 5-1 looks a bargain, doesn't he? I mean, I've got him in my ultimate team, and he's been a star for me in that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's sadly Granville. I think it's a good call because Iosi you've got to get rid, haven't you?
Yeah. I mean, well, I can bench him for now. I have to get rid of Sanchez, so it'll be. I think I'm going to spend points this week. I've been a bit too cautious the last couple of weeks.
Okay, more on the transfers at the end. I think there's a few more questions. Isn't there one on defenders coming up, Jonty?
There is, but yeah, there is. Let's go down this Christmas defenders. So which defenders should
not
we get?
Not just for Christmas defenders.
Oh, I tell you, I've got one.
Best defender over Christmas. So basically, Guna 97, Daniel, the Red Devil, and Springbank all ask questions. Familiar names: Moreno, some of the Spurs defenders. Yeah. What about Chelsea's defence? Are there any others we're missing out on? So, I mean, these are the kind of names they're thinking of. Who are you thinking of?
I mean, I've got three, and Zuma, Van Dijk, and Alderweireld, and those are the three that. I mean, if I was going to, if I was going to go for three, that would definitely have it'd be those three. I mean, Spurs have been a revelation defence this season. I don't know how many clean sheets, but they're doing really, really well. And he gets on the end of the crosses as well. I think he's I think he's good. If he was going to get a defender in this week, it'd be him. Yeah,
I just want Jonty to say Alderweireld though.
I said Spurs defenders.
Toby, he's not going to fall into that. He's not going to fall into that trap. I'll try and set it up.
Come on,
it's difficult to set up the Shaqiri trap as well, but every now and then it happens. I think Alderweireld is a good option. Tottenham load 2 at home in the next 6. So, but they are Norwich and Newcastle. You've got to think they're home bankers and clean sheets in those two. But I think he's a good option because. Yeah, Pochettino's got them defending incredibly well and pressing all over the pitch. West Bromlow are back on the radar. You'll be glad to hear this, Granville. Although with Myhill, Foster could be back soon, so not nailed on. But they've got 4 at home in the next 6. The trouble is with them, although their fixtures are good, Hawthorns has been a bit of a curse for them.
I know. They've been getting clean sheets away from home as well. I don't know. I'm not going to spend a transfer on a keeper right now. Just not interested. Pantilimon would be the one, but I just can't. I'm just not even looking at my defence. I'm quite happy with him now at the minute.
I think Dawson's the one in the West Brom defence. If you're going that way, I'm looking at that. Moreno, I've already got. Smalling's just too expensive for me. I'd probably go De Gea if I was going to go United defender. And then Zuma, I've already got. I think is a great choice as well. Moreno and Zuma are probably my 2 choices there. If you're not going to go Spurs, and then Dawson outside bet, but then. The big name there is Bellerin, and Jonty, you've got him 4 at home in the next 6. Are you worried about? We talked about it, touched on it last week. The Coquelin factor. They did concede at Norwich. Are you worried about a lack of clean sheets?
Yeah, I am. He's my most. I think he's my most expensive defender at the moment. It's attacking returns. I got him in for clean sheets and attacking returns. So if he's not racking up any assists, give him a week or 2. I mean, he's got Sunderland. At home and Villa away, and always have a rule. If a player can't do well in absolutely easy fixtures like that, now a defender he should be getting a clean sheet or an assist at least over those 2 games. If he's coming away with 1 or 2 points each game, with Man City next, game week 17, it's a no-brainer for me to swap out Bellerin. And I mean Chelsea have got Sunderland at home that week. I mean there's some good West Brom. They got Bournemouth at home. There's some good cheap options there, and of course Spurs as well. So they got Southampton away. I mean that could go either way. But some of the Spurs defenders are getting points both ends of the pitch, and that's what you want really. So I mean
I think even though Arsenal. Are going to miss Coquelin at home to Sunderland. I mean, are they going to get over the halfway line? I think Big Sam's going to set them up to be hard to break down.
Isn't Koscielny out as well? Or
possibly, we don't know. I mean, he's more likely to come back out of Cafalla and Sanchez at the moment. It looks like Koscielny will be back in the equation. Again, though, Wenger may not take a risk, because having seen Sanchez pull up, Sunderland at home, as I say, I don't think that the back 4 will touch the ball. We'll have to see. I mean, Big Sam might prove me wrong and might be a goal glut, but I can't see it at all. So for me, I think we update the watch list today, and the names at the top of that we've already mentioned. I think there's some good choices there. I think one of the questions is, should we have a strong defence over Christmas? That's what Daniel asked. I think he's spot on. I think you do, because again, it comes down to if you've got a weak bench, it could find you out. I think you've got to go into Christmas with active defenders. You know, we saw Mika Richards this week. I mean, he could have come off the bench for you two. I started him, but he could have come off the bench, and that goal makes all the difference. So, first and foremost, have defenders that play. You know, if you've got Cedric in there, or a player like that who is in and out of that Southampton team, that's a worry. I reckon you've got to change that. So first and foremost, get players that are playing, and then look at the watch list. There's a lot of names in there that are worth getting, and they're not all expensive. 5 million will get you a decent defender. Moreno is still on that mark.
Are you concerned then about Kolarov? Yeah, I would be. I mean, I know he's going to play, but over Christmas he's going to be rotated, isn't he?
Yeah, I think that is the case, and it's just a question of whether he gets. I think Kolarov will get the home games, because I think at home they're all about breaking teams down, so they'll go for his attacking prowess at home. If Clichy's going to play, I'm hoping it's Arsenal and Leicester. Because they've got those 2 away games, and that's when they're going to need to defend more stoutly in those 2 matches. So, hopefully, well, they're not keeping clean sheets anyway, are they? So I mean,
no, not really. That's why, I mean, I know Otamendi is the one who is probably most nailed on for all the games, but and he does actually get forward and gets into the headers in the box. But I think you're right. They're not actually getting that many clean sheets, and they're a premium. You know, the Kolarov is probably the best one to get, because you've always got that chance of getting a goal and maybe even missing a penalty.
Yes, thanks for bringing that up. John T, should we have one final question before we wrap up the night?
Can we have? It's a couple really, because there's a couple of. We need to get some kind of special effect time machine Doctor Who type music, because we're going to go back in the past. So Johnny Unitas says, "What's happened to the clean sheet prediction?" So via Twitter, he's asked us for our game week 15 one. So, I mean, for me, looking down that list, I actually think this is my week for Bellerin, because I think Sunderland are going to bring a big old bus and no sports cars, and so I think Southampton against Villa, I think, is a really good one as well. And I'd actually be looking, and I'm actually not sure about Chelsea. I think Bournemouth have got quite a bit about them attacking. I think they could nick a goal if Chelsea can actually score. But I think, they're my 2 ones I would definitely think about. I'm not sure about Everton and Palace.
I think there's loads in your Granville.
Yeah, if you go for a third, I mean, Watford at home to Norwich.
Hold on, what about United at West Ham? Are you not looking at that one?
No.
I've given up on Manchester. They're just persona non grata for me.
No, they are. I mean, come on, they are the best defence in the league. But
I mean,
at the minute they are. It's just because they've got everyone defending.
Yeah, and as I say, I think without Payet, West Ham they have struggled already. A couple of goals in the last 2 games, but they look short of ideas. I think there's like 4 or 5 clean sheets this week. I'd look at Liverpool at Newcastle. I mean, are Newcastle going to score in that game? I mean, they got one at Palace, but they've looked pretty abject. Spurs at West Brom. I mean, Spurs are defending really well. West Brom.
There's not many clean sheets about though, Mark. I mean, there's 4 last week, 4 the week before. There's not that many clean sheets about. Oh, there was a few more the week before, but yeah.
I think there's a lot.
5 clean sheets. Maybe you're right. I think
there's a lot. I think this is a good week to invest in a few defenders. I think it's sitting there. Chelsea Bournemouth on paper looks good, but yeah, I think you're right, John T. I mean, Bournemouth look to have. I think they've had more goal attempts than any other team in the last 4 game weeks. They're right on top of it. So we'll see if they can convert. And Chelsea can be calamitous. So we'll see what happens. So fancy on this. Does he want that ball back as well?
Yeah, well, we might bring it back regularly, I guess. It's up to you, really. But yeah,
well, we need the music, don't we? The fancy island music.
Kings of Leon. In this, we pretend it's all kind of palm trees. Kings of Leon asked, keen to know what our risks are. So I'll go first with one. Old friend Tadic, 8.4% ownership, so he's under 10%. Bit under the radar. Southampton attackers a bit under the radar. But over to my goals imminent there. So
here we go.
Here we go. 7 shots inside the box, 4 shots on target, 10 goal attempts. He has got a goal, all in the last 4. So he's primed for points. And one of the reasons I say him in particular this week is because he's playing Villa, and Villa are terrible. So
yeah. Pretty sound logic. Have we got one?
He's got penalties as well. I'm going to go for Arsenal, Joel Campbell.
Oh, you think he's going to play?
Yeah, I think he's going to play. He's going to come on, isn't he? And Arsenal's struggling for players, they need bodies. And I think he's looked actually okay. I mean, he's had a few chances. He did miss I think he missed a sitter, wasn't it, this week? But I think I think he's got every chance. I mean, I know Sunderland going to be parking the bus and all that, but I think they'll break him down.
Well, there you go. Here's mine. I don't know if he's going to start. If Benteke starts at Liverpool, he'll score at Newcastle, I think. Now, as I said earlier, Newcastle conceded more goal attempts at home than any other team. Liverpool, we'll see how they get on the Capital One Cup. This was recorded before that match. But if Coutinho's back, we'll see if Benteke plays. If he does, I think he's going to get goals at Newcastle. Headed goal attempts, Newcastle 17. Only one team that conceded more. So, yeah, I'm going to go Benteke. He is a risk. He really is a risk, but it could be big reward. So we'll see how that one goes. It's interesting. I do like Fancy Island risk. Maybe I can get like a background, some palm trees in the background on that. I can pin it up here and try and recreate the atmosphere. Should we talk about this game week and our transfers and our captaincy, shall we? Because I'm going to come out here because I had 2 transfers and no one spotted this. I've made one already. Have you not spotted this already?
Yeah, I saw you made one. I thought you got Hazard in.
Okay. Granville, do you want to have a guess?
I haven't looked. How much have you spent?
Well, Sanchez has gone.
Right. Okay. Sanchez has gone. So you've got yourself. I'd have to have a look to see how much you've got left.
I think he's got a couple of million. So that's why I thought.
A million. How much did he have before?
This is fun. We should do this.
He saved a couple of million. Was he bang on before? No, I think he had. So you think he's got for a 9 million?
We've always gone Özil or Silva.
Özil would be the obvious one.
Yeah, of course I've gone the obvious route. Of course I have. I've gone the Dullard move. I'm praying at the.
Well, actually, what I should have done is just check the prices to see who's gone up, because I know that all Mark's transfers are guided by price.
No. Although Sanchez was going down and Özil was going up. Yes, I mean I had 2 transfers, so I could afford to make an early one. So it's one of the benefits of having 2 is that you can throw one away on the price rises, can't you? If I had 1, I may well have held on, but having 2, I thought, well, I've got nothing to lose here because. You know, Arsenal aren't playing midweek. Özil against Sunderland. Yeah, I am worried about it. We talked about it earlier, and I think Arsenal's cutting edge is going to suffer. But 4 at home in 6. Özil's playing week in, week out. I watched the Norwich game, and I think Jonty will agree. He obviously was watching his man. Özil was getting in the box a lot. He obviously got the goal. I'm not keen on him as a player, to be fair. He's not my favourite, but
I've got it. Is it the first time you've had him?
Yeah, it is. I think it's the first time I've ever had him since he arrived in the UK, in the Premier League. So we'll see how it goes for me. I've not had a good word to say about him as a player, but I admire. He's effective, but I don't enjoy watching him. He always seems too languid, too relaxed, but he does the business. Doesn't he, Jonty? So
yeah. That's why I got him in last week. It's a place you don't have to worry about because you know you're going to get a steady stream of points.
Yeah, so very dull, but I've got 1 transfer left. I probably won't use that next one. I am tempted to look at Coutinho because I think he could be a little bit spectacular at Newcastle, but I'm probably going to leave it, and that means I'll have to decide on the Mane, Mahrez or Ayew bench, and I may well, having said never bench Mahrez away from home, I may well do that. I may well have to play Ayew and Mane. I think Mane at home to Villa could be a big win. And Leicester, will they concede to Swansea? If they do, Ayew, I think he's been involved in 60% of the goals at home. I think I've got to play him after missing out last time. John T, what's your transfer?
I was just going to ask who your captain's going to be before I come on to my one.
I'm going to go Kane, I think, at West Brom. I think that West Brom can ship in goals at Hawthorns. It's out of him and Lukaku, isn't it? But I'm probably going to play. I'm going to play on the fact that most people are going to go Lukaku. I expect at home to Palace. But then Lukaku scored tonight. It's going to go to the wire. I mean, basically, I have tough decisions every week with this 8 attacking players, 8 strong attackers, and without Aguero, it means I have to make two difficult decisions every week. I don't know if I'm up to it. We'll have to see. It is stressful. I mean, I think one of the guys in the community questions said, "Have I got grey hairs from doing it?" And
you did all right though, because you asked me, didn't you, on Friday? You said, "I'm not sure to bench Mane or Ayew." You actually got the right one, didn't you? Because
but it wasn't a big win, was it?
No. It could have, it could have backfired quite easily. I haven't actually watched that Swansea game, so I don't know how bad they were. The thing is with Ayew is that he keeps popping up and scoring goals and just kind of and preventing me from actually removing him from the team.
Yeah.
And I hate having a Swansea player on my team because I know that an easy home game they can easily let you down in.
Well, they've got 3 at home in the next 4. None of them are easy though. But
I know. know, and that might be that might be beneficial actually. And he is a benching option. It's just I mean, most times I got it right with him, but the one time I did get it wrong when he got 10 points, I think.
So anyway, I'm going Kane captain, and my transfer I've already made Ozil, and I'm going to bank the other one. John T, what are you going to do?
Well, I was also a week or two ago. I'd earmarked this week as Kane week, so I was going to get Kane in for Pella. But looking at the way Villa have been the last couple of weeks, I'm going to stick with Pella. Rate my team is telling me to stick with Pella. So he's got one more week, but he's going to go after this week for Kane, I imagine. So Sanchez. So Sanchez replacements, and I've already said. I mean, I'm looking at Coutinho, Hazard, and Barkley. Part of me thinks Silva as well, but out of all of that lot, I'm looking at Coutinho. So this is going out before they play in the Capital One Cup. I'll be keeping a close eye on that. Hopefully, he can survive that. If not, I might go for Firmino. I'm just looking at Liverpool's fixtures. I'm looking at the Newcastle game, and it just looks like a great opportunity to get some points there from there. So yeah, a bit of a differential. I mean, I still think of Coutinho as a bit of a differential. I mean, I don't know what his ownership is, but he's not a player that a lot of people. He's not a player that's in every. He's not like a template, but he could become a template soon.
Captain,
captain. I'm looking at Lukaku. Two reasons. One is I've captained him the last 2 weeks. And he's been fabulous. So basically, my upturn in fortunes is a result of getting Lukaku in, and he plays on Monday. So I like the fact that I've got a captain on Monday. I just quite like that. So I'll probably go for Lukaku.
Yeah. I'll say over to you then, Mr. Granville.
I was just going to say about Jonty says that Coutinho didn't think he was template, but he kind of is. I mean, he's got 22% ownership. You'll always get that with Liverpool and United players because they're so popular. The teams have got so many fans around the world. You'll always find that their ownerships will be higher. So
I think of ownership less in terms of the kind of 22% overall. It's more like what people I know, people in my mini leagues, those types of things. He's a bit of a differential there. So
yeah.
No, I'm worried about you getting Coutinho. I think that's going to be. I think that's the move you're going to do. Here I am playing mind games with you, but I think it'll be a good one because I think he's going to rip into Newcastle if he's fit.
Yeah, I think it's probably the move that I'm going to make. The thing is, I'm looking. The teams I won to coverage this week really are Liverpool and I guess Arsenal. If I'm not going to have, I'm not going to have Sanchez obviously, so I'm going to need to replace him. I think, but I might actually get Dini or Igalo in and replace Jose and then bench Ayew. I just don't know about Swansea.
It's tough, isn't it, that?
I mean, what do I do? I mean, the other option is to sell Mane or Ayew and spend 4 points and get Ozil and Coutinho.
The thing is, do you sell Mane and Ayew when they've got home games against Leicester and Villa?
I mean, the home game against Leicester, and I'm reluctant to sell him, but I'm very, very tempted indeed. I could do with another injury somewhere, make it easier. I could do with Aguero saying, I'm not going to be able to make it the next game, and then I would get rid of him.
Here he is, wishing injuries on players again. That's 2 weeks running.
No, that's just a niggle. Not career threatening or anything. Just
catchphrase, isn't it? Just a niggle. Thank you very much, Granville, for joining us. 3 points ahead now. Was it 6 ahead? I am 6 ahead. Very, very close. Just 10 points in it between us. I think I'm trying to convince myself that I'm rising like a phoenix, that the comeback is on. But actually, I think that you two just slipped to my level, and we're all about the same now. I was lagging behind you two. I think the three of us, there's so little in it between us. When we look at the Contributors League, though, we really haven't got nothing to shout about, have we? I mean, Andy and that lot are just long way off in the distance. We've got some catching up to do. But our rivalry is pretty fierce at the moment. There's not a lot in it, and every game week, plenty to play for. We'll see how this week pans out. It's a good night for me.
Good night.
And good night for me.